M3.
Welcome to the Millionaire Car Salesman Podcast,
M3.
the #1 resource for automotive sales professionals, managers, and owners
M3.
to learn how to make money, accumulate wealth, and to all out ball out in the auto industry. And now your hosts, Sean V. Bradley and L.A. Williams.
1, 2, 3, 4,
M3.
Hey everybody, this is Sean V. Bradley, president of Dealer Synergy and the creator of the Millionaire Car Salesman Facebook group and creator of the Millionaire Car Salesman Podcast. And man, I got a special guest today. All right, so I got Kelly Mercer. He's a sales consultant at the Covert Auto Group, and you're based out of Texas. Is that correct?
We are. We're near Austin.
Well, okay, beautiful area. I was just at not too long ago, a couple years ago, at South by Southwest. You guys have a crazy awesome conference. My kids love the video games out there. But listen, brother, I don't want to take any of your airtime because I am thoroughly impressed with you. Let's talk about your background. You only have been in automotive for a couple years now, right?
About 2.5.
Okay, so what did you do before that? What did you do for most of your life?
So I was a football coach and math teacher here in Texas for 28 years. That's what I went to college for, graduated for.
For football or for math?
For football.
No offense, because there's not too many times you have athletes that are good at math. I'm just saying. I'm only kidding. You know what I mean?
No, that's true. But I knew teaching math would be easier to get me a job. So
fair enough.
I did that. But yeah, went to college for that. Got a degree for in kinesiology for coaching, and minored in math, and did that for 28 years.
Oh man, that's freaking awesome. So 28 years, that's a long time, bro, to do one thing, 28 years. Why in the hell would you stop, doing that to sell cars?
Well, I didn't stop to sell cars, just to be honest.
Mm-hmm.
When COVID hit, we're all at home. I've got my wife who's in education. She's running her classroom from our dining room. I've got my 2 daughters sitting at the table doing their stuff. And so from March through April, I'm at home with them. And, coaching in Texas is a different gig, man. It's different. During the season, it's 7 days a week, 12, 14 hours a day. Yeah. Trying to get whatever you can get to keep the energy going. But I'm at home with my family and I'm realizing how much I miss being around them, And so I just decided to start looking other directions, had some relationships with different athletic companies like scoreboard companies, equipment companies, things like that. And they were all on hiring freezes because they know what was going to happen in the fall because of COVID, right?
Yeah. So
I coached some kids down here at a school near Austin. Their dad works at Covert here in Hutto. He's been there 12 years now. And I got to know him because he's a former coach as well.
Mm.
So we got to talking. The dealership literally is about 3 minutes from my house. And he was like, come up here, hang out with me for a day, see if you like it. And I was like, man, I don't want to sell cars. I don't want to do that. That's not something I'm interested in. My wife was like, go on, get out of the house, Go hang out up there for a day. So I did. I enjoyed the day I was there, and then I just kept going back. And thankfully, so far, they keep allowing me to come in every morning. So,
couple personal questions I have for you, and again, because we're here about money and not bullshit. You know what I mean?
Right.
So 28 years in education, I've always been told that teachers don't make shit. You know what I mean? And so is that true or false? Where you, like, after 28 years of your life, what's the most that you made from your job teaching? I'm not talking about your side hustles if you had any. I'm talking about just from being a teacher. What would you say your annual income was?
So the highest income I ever had was when I was an athletic director, a head football coach, which being an athletic director adds even more time. My highest grossing annual salary was $98,000.
Okay. And what year was that you made $98,000?
2018.
All right. Now, I mean, no disrespect to people that make $100,000 or less. But goddamn, bro. I mean, for like you're making just that bit of money for 25 years of your life, a quarter century, college degrees. How much debt did you go into for that?
Well, early on, especially since both my wife and I are in education, early on.
You're lucky.
Yeah. Things were tight though with 2 educator salaries, right? And then kids come along and life comes along. So yeah, we had credit card debt coming out of our ears, man. And I look back on some of our cars, refinance. I financed it for 72, pay on it for 2 years. Refi for 72 again. Just crazy stuff like that. Just trying to, create less outgo, right? Because here's the thing, it's a salaried position. So it doesn't matter how long I practice, how much video I watch, how many games I won. None of that matters.
Kelly, let me just jump in here because I want to give the audience, because they're waiting for it. You know what I mean? So How much money did you make last year? Let's tell the people real quick. How much did you make selling cars, selling in metal?
Right at about $275,000.
What? In my little John voice, what? You made $275,000 in Texas.
Yes.
Okay. Selling what? You're selling Ferraris? You're selling private jets? What are you selling?
No, we're a pretty unique lot. I have a Chevy building and I have a Ford building on the same lot. So I can sell new Chevys and new Fords and then pre-owns.
Yo, I'm just asking one question. Why isn't your wife selling cars too at that type of money? I mean, does she try to sell cars too?
She enjoys the kids too much, man.
But she must be. Is your whole family shocked? Are you shocked at making almost $300,000? Almost triple what you did.
Not even. I mean, shock doesn't even do it justice. That first month, the first month I was in sales, I think I grossed around $8,000-9,000. All right. Then
not bad at all your first month.
I'll take it. At that point, that was more than I'd ever done, right?
Yeah.
So I'll take it. But then I started learning, learn how to do things and be more efficient. Actually, is probably a better way to say it. And then we had some stuff. Last year was. You said it on your podcast many times, and everybody knows it. This year is not going to be last year.
No,
not happening. I was selling Tahoes and Expeditions for 15, 16, 17 over, at least a few times, a couple times a week, right?
Right.
So there's that. I mean, 1500s, we're selling at 5, 6, 8, 10 over.
Right.
People are buying them. So, that was the thing. Hold on to that as much as possible. I don't expect this year to be that way by any means, but
you did it though. You see it now you're in trouble. You ever see Godfather 3 with Michael Corleone when he said, "Just when I think I'm out, they pull me back in." That's how it is with the automotive industry. Once you get that money, it's very few. I mean, for the love of God, look at what you did. Athletic director, almost 30 years of your life to not even break $100,000. Right. You're in a brand new industry and you almost tripled that, in a record amount of time. So what that does is it turns you out. That's a street term. It turns you out. Because there's not many things that you could get that type of gratification. And what's going to be hard for our listeners, I'm telling you, he even said it. I've been trying to warn you guys that this is not reality. This is like SpongeBob opposite world right now. This is not normal. And if you think that this is going to continue, and you're not prepared for the recalibration of reality, I call it. I'll repeat that, the recalibration of reality, you're going to be in trouble. But I do want to talk about this a little bit more, just for maybe 30 more seconds or so. What was that like? What did that increase in income do for you and your family as far as security, as far as fun, as far as time, convenience? What did that change of life do for you? Yeah,
I mean, with 2 educator family, vacations were very hard to take. Our vacation was a long 3-day weekend, right, in the summer, when we were all off. So short vacations, drive to the coast down here in Texas, spend a couple of days, drive back. Since this change, I've been to, week long in Jamaica, Cancun, going skiing, all these different, and staying at, not trying to find the La Quinta neck, right? We're staying in nice places.
La Quinta.
So you know what La Quinta stands for in Texas, right?
What?
Next to Denny's.
Next. I love it, bro. That's hysterical. I love it, brother.
So yeah, I mean, there's that part of it, but I get with my financial planner guy and completely revamp all of our life insurance. My oldest daughter's going to a private school here. She's playing volleyball at a private school here close to Austin. So they don't do scholarships. They do some grants and stuff, but it's expensive, and not really worried about that because that's the school she wanted to go to. Just doing things like that. I got a pool now. I got a hell of a backyard I love going into now. And that's all happened in the last 2.5 years because, the money's it was there. I tell people.
Let me just jump in here.
Okay.
I always want to talk this because I hear this from people. People say, I don't need this money. I want to slap them. Matter of fact, listen very carefully. That's for all the people out there that say, I don't need money. Well, then listen, let me just explain something to you. That's disrespectful to people that are busting their ass, that are working 2 or 3 jobs and are one paycheck away from being homeless. I mean, seriously, you might not need X amount, but you are in an opportunity. We are all in an opportunity in automotive sales to make as much money as we can earn. And it's not just for ourselves. Again, you could help your family. You could help your community. You could help your church. You could help other people. Don't get me wrong. Prayer is good, but there's a reason why they tithe at church. You see what I'm saying? Because if all you needed was prayer, they wouldn't be handing that plate out twice a day on Sunday. You feel what I'm saying? Yes, so again, I think it's important to understand that, yes, you might be able to budget yourself and live a frugal life, but then you're missing out on an opportunity. Because let's keep it real. Automotive sales, we're not curing cancer. We're not doing, space travel. We're not doing magnanimous things like that. We are for-profit business. Right. Now, that doesn't make us evil or whatever. With the money that we generate, if we use it wisely, invest it wisely, and help people that are less fortunate, I think that we could maximize. So that's why I asked you, how did it change your life? Because a lot of people that have never done the things that you said, like go to Jamaica or go skiing or not go to La Quinta, they're at the Four Seasons, they don't know what they're missing. And so once you get a taste of that, you don't want to go back. Once you have a taste of the good life, the easy life, the option life, you don't want to go back. True or false?
True, 100%. Yeah. What does LA say in his opening about money provides options, right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. That option doesn't necessarily mean that you get to go get a nicer car, a bigger house, or whatever. You have the option to, like you said, help your church, help your community, help your local schools. That's what I'm doing now to fulfill my athletic stuff that's still in me. Is Hutto High School. I try to be involved with them as much as possible with time and some money. And as a dealership, we're connected to them to help with their automotive repair classes and all that kind of stuff. So options doesn't mean go buy a bigger house. It could be provide options for other people.
100%, brother. I respect that. All right. So let's get into the meat and potatoes of this now. Okay. Let's get into the meat and potatoes here. Talk to us about what differentiates you from the average person, because it's not just the pandemic, because there's a lot of people that don't do what you do, sell as many cars as you do. If I do recall, you said that you've sold 27 units in 1 month. That's pretty profound, selling 27 units in 1 month. And you've also made $32,000 in personal income in a month. How did you do that? Let's start here. Where do you get your cars from? Your sales. Where do you get your sales from?
Oh man, everywhere I can find.
Well, let's go through, list them for us.
The biggest one for us, of course, is internet leads. Cause I don't have a customer base yet. Right. I've got coaching buddies calling me saying, hey, what about a truck? And teaching buddies and all that kind of stuff and some family, but I don't have a huge book of business yet. So it's internet leads mostly. We're not we're a destination store. We're 30 minutes from downtown Austin. So we don't have a ton of ups. We don't have a ton of people just walking on the lot, but if they're there, they're good, So I try to do that as well. Work the service lane as much as I can. I got a bunch of ideas from Tiana about sending out flyers to my previous customers, and amazingly, it was hard for me to wrap my head around. But I got them back in from when I first started. They're already ready to trade back in and get into something else. In my head, man, I'm keeping a car or truck for 6, 7, 8 years. Not true for everybody. You know what I mean? So, I do that, and then phone ups as well. Phone ups for me, look, I've only been doing this 2.5 years, but I've been around the sun a long time, been around the sun a few times. So I know how to talk to people. I know how to break down the wall. I know how to create a relationship somehow or another. And my in-person and phone stuff is probably my strongest part of my game.
All right, so let's break this down. As you've heard me say before, I'm going to say it to our audience. There's 8 ways that a showroom salesperson could sell cars. Walk-ins, which if I'm hearing a destination store, that might not be a major amount, but B-backs. Let's talk about B-backs for a second here, especially with all of the sales that you're selling. Here's what my math is in my head. If you're selling, I'm going to just do a round number because you said 27 is your most successful. Right. So let's just use, even if we just use 20 cars, for example, right? And I'm not minimizing you, but let's just say 20 cars. To sell 20 cars, in my professional opinion, you should probably have on average about 40 bodies coming into the dealership. Right. You have to have about 40 ups, whether they're appointments or they're fresh ups there. I'd say at least 40 is the number. To do that, you're probably going to need, if you're working heavily on appointments, at least 80 appointments. To make 80 appointments, you're going to need at least, I'd say, about 200 opportunities from somewhere. So again, walk-ins is 1, B-backs is 2. My advice to you and everybody listening is this, is that this is a huge, huge opportunity is the people that you don't sell. Let me go through the math. If I have 40 people that come into the dealership and I wind up spotting 20, there's still 20 that didn't buy a car. Yes, some of them might be dead, bogus, non-buyable. They're homeless. I'm being exaggeratory, obviously, but let's just say there's 10, even 8 to 10 people that are viable opportunities. What I find is that most of the industry, most of the salespeople out there do a shitty job in following up. They might follow up with a B-back for 3 days, or maybe if they're lucky, a week or 2, but that's about it. The problem is it's like opening up a can of, Tatsu tea, it's product placement. I'm just kidding. So it's like opening up, an energy drink and not finishing it and open up another one right behind it. Why have 5 or 6 unfinished juices or teas in your refrigerator and keep opening up new bottles? What you should try to do, and what our industry should do, is a better job in finishing what's in the can before you open up a new one. You know what I mean? So again, to me, that's a huge opportunity, is really working your B-backs the right way. And sometimes B-backs might not be ready for 30 days, 45 days even, especially now with the inventory situation. So we talk about walk-ins, we talk about B-back. You mentioned internet ups, okay? Phone ups are, I think, not as volume, not as a large amount, but they're higher closing ratio and faster. So right. Phone ups, but that's half. The next one you should look into, my brother, is orphan owners. You know what an orphan owner is?
Oh yeah, I go through our CRM all the time, and when somebody leaves, I'm immediately going to their leads.
Okay, well, talk to me. How are you following up with orphan owners?
So, as we all know, turnover happens quite a bit. We lose people, some, and so as soon as I realize that somebody's gone, I'm going to CRM. I'm dropping down their name, and I'm going through all their leads from, say just this month, this current month, and I'm trying to look at their notes and figure out for sure if they've talked to them or not. But I'll shoot a text, make a phone call, email, whatever, and just say, hey, look, Johnny Smith has moved on to a different opportunity. I'm here to take over the part of your business that you guys were talking about. Looks like you were looking into a 1500. Looks like you're looking in F-150. I've got plenty of those on the lot. When can I get you in to come see one?
Okay. That's not an orphan owner.
Okay.
That's not an orphan owner. Means if, let's say, Franca Vidal bought a car from Sean Bradley and Sean Bradley's no longer here. Do you see what I'm saying?
Okay.
You're talking about orphan prospects. You're talking about if Sean Bradley had a bunch of leads that he didn't sell, you're jumping over it. That's not an orphan owner. That's an orphan prospect. So let's start with what I'm talking about, which is more valuable. And here's a misconception, because you're a highly educated man and highly successful. Let me just give you some of the game here. Don't work hard, work smart.
Right.
Okay. Or if you're going to work hard, work smart too. You know what I mean? But don't skip the smart part. Why overwork when you don't have to? Why swim upstream? So the math is this. There is nothing, my brother, nothing more powerful than a prior customer. It is the highest closing ratio and the highest gross profit as per NADA. The National Automobile Dealer Association says so. So again, if I were you, and if I'm gambling or I'm spending my time, I want to focus on the highest probability of engagement and conversion. Let me repeat that. I want to work on what am I going to get the biggest bang for my time? Would you agree?
Absolutely.
Okay, so now let's just pretend, Kelly, that you bought a car from Karen. Karen's no longer with the dealership, right? Mm-hmm. So what I would do is I would reach out to you, and there's several ways I reach out to you. I can reach out to you through text message, through a phone call, through an email, and through social media DM. So what I would do is I would probably have a bunch of content pre-created. So that way I can cut and paste, cut and paste, cut and paste, and it's not that difficult, right? So I would start probably with the things that I could cut and paste, because if I have to call, I might have them on the phone. Now, believe it or not, you're like, well, that's what I want to do. Maybe not, because a cold opportunity, we don't know if the salesperson did a good job or a shitty job, right or wrong. We don't know if they're pissed off at the salesperson, at the dealership, or at the parts counter person, or whoever it is. So I don't necessarily want to stop and go. So maybe the first day that I do this, right, I'm just sending out content, cut and paste through my text messaging platform in my CRM, or I'm cut and pasting through emails, or I'm cut and pasting in social media DMs. And that message might something go like this. Hey, Kelly, my name is Sean Bradley, and I want to let you know that I'm one of the senior product advisors here at ABC Motors. I know that you were working with Karen. You purchased your last vehicle, the 2016 Chevy Malibu from Karen. I want to just inform you that Karen is no longer at the dealership, but I am. I'm here to take over to help you with anything and everything possible. So specifically, if you have any questions about your current vehicle, I'm not sure exactly where you left off with Karen, but if there's anything I could help you with in any way, shape, or form, whether it's on your current vehicle, a future vehicle, potentially a trade-in, if you want to sell a vehicle, servicing parts, anything. I'm not the mechanic or the parts person, but I'm your liaison here. I'm your go-to person in anything automotive. As a matter of fact, Kelly, I'm going to reach out to you tomorrow and I'm going to give you a phone call. And so please look out for my call, because I just want to introduce myself personally and see how I could just be of service to you. Thank you so much. Boom. So again, people make the mistake that they try to jump too quickly into, hey, Karen's not here. What can I sell you?
Yeah.
How do we even know if Karen did a good job or not? You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. So what you want to do first, it's the relationship. And here's the thing. This person purchased already. This person might also have serviced or services their vehicle. So what you want to be able to do is if there is any type of response, that's who you reach out to first. Do you see what I'm saying? So It's a little bit strategy. You're giving the content out there first, and then you're manually or personally going to follow up. And still, restrain yourself, refrain from trying to sell them something, just pump them for a lead. I use this analogy all the time, the emotional bank account. Just like a regular bank account, you got to deposit hard currency in there if you want to draw real money out. If you want somebody to buy from you, service from you, or refer somebody to you, then you should deposit into their emotional bank account. You don't want to be the one that's like, yo, Kelly, can I borrow $5? Yo, Kelly, man, I forgot my lunch. Yo, can I bum, a sandwich? You don't want to be the person that's always grinding and asking and begging from somebody. So what you want to do is you want to pace, and then ask, what you want. Does that make sense, Kelly, so far?
Absolutely. Yeah.
Okay.
Sure.
Then what you would do is this. I would just make the first conversation about, not just the first message, the first verbal conversation you have with that person, or live conversation or bidirectional conversation about them. Hey, how is your experience? You want to know, how is your car treating you? Is everything working right? Is everything you need? Is there anything I can help you with? It's all about them. You were there to serve them. Now, what you could probably do is maybe, 2 weeks later. Okay, 2 weeks later, you can follow them and say, hey, now it's a warm introduction because it's not a cold call anymore. You've already spoken to that person. You've already had a dialogue. You already showed that you care about them because you weren't faking like, hey, how's your family? How's your friends? Hey, can I sell you something? No, you just made it all about them. Now, this time you're like, hey, Kelly, I'm just following up with you. I know I talked to you a couple of weeks ago, and I wanted to just do my due diligence and, find out, where you're at in your automotive, purchase. Meaning is that currently, are you planning to keep your vehicle, or are you thinking about trading that vehicle out in the near future? And then here's the hook that you might use. I can tell you, Kelly, right now, I'm not sure you're aware of this, but there's an inventory crisis because of the pandemic. And we are trying to build up our pre-owned inventory. And your vehicle seems like it's the perfect vehicle for us. We would love to buy that vehicle. And depending on the condition it's in, Kelly, I might be able to get you more for your vehicle than it's worth. How does that sound? If that sounds good, let's set up a time for you to come in and we could kill two birds with one stone. I could have one of my certified appraisers on hand to see how much equity they could put on your vehicle and see how much more above book value they could give you for that vehicle. And I could show you some of the vehicles that we have that are available that we could that are comparable or even, upgraded from what you're driving right now. So do you see the psychology, Kelly, how we want to start that relationship? So that's different than the leads.
Right.
Leads are cool, but you have a higher probability for somebody that sold you, that bought a car from you before, maybe not from you, but from the dealership. Right. The other thing is referrals. Now, does your dealership offer a bird dog?
Yes.
How much?
$100.
To me, that's ridiculously low. And I would talk to your owner and say, look, here's how you get your owner. Okay. Say, hey, boss, question for you. Do you know what the average cost per sale is in advertising at the dealership? Kelly, you know what that means?
Do I? Yes.
The average dealership spends $650 per car sold. That means that the average dealership has a budget of $65,000 a month in advertising. Okay. And if the average dealership sells 100 cars, which it's less than that, but if it's 100 cars, that means the average cost per sale is $650 per car. Do you follow my math? Yes. Here's the challenge though. Okay, that's a bullshit number. That's dumb dealer math. No disrespect to dealers, but it is, because all you did is here's my budget, here am I divided. But the reality is, if you sell 100 cars, I promise you that your car sales did not come 100% from your advertising. You said you have Chevy and Nissan, right?
Ford, Chevy and Ford.
You sell the number one product on planet Earth for the last 45 straight years, a Ford F-150, and you have the number one competitor of a Ford, which is a Chevy. Are you kidding me? So you have Coke and Pepsi. What's the bad part? So, Thomas, I guarantee you that out of the sales, so let's just say that your dealership spent $65,000 last month. They sold 100 cars. Okay, it's not $650 per car. It's more than that. Here's why. Some of those people bought cars because it was a freaking Ford. Some of those people bought cars because their cars broke down and they had no choice. They needed new transportation. Some of those people bought cars because their lease was up. Some of those people bought cars because you were the local closest dealership to them. You follow me? So when you take all that out there, do you know what the average cost per sale is? It's probably $800 to $1,000 true marketing advertising expense. So here's what I'm saying. Why in the world would we only have a punk ass $100, bird dog if it's a real referral?
Right. You
need to talk to your dealer and your GM and say, look, what is the average car payment? The average car payment might be, $350 or $400. I would say, look, I would love to have a bird dog for the first one between $200 to $250. So $200 to $250. Now I'm going to source to you because, I have a dealership, Chrysler of Lawrenceburg. Okay. Then Lawrenceburg, Kentucky, good old Kentucky. You know how much they pay out for referrals? The first one is $300. Wow. The second one is $700. The third one is $1,000 in that month. Do you understand me? Mm-hmm. So again, it goes like this. So it's not 300, 700. It's not $2,000 for 3 cars. So let me be clear. Right. What happens is if they sent you one, it's 300. The second one, they would have a total of 700. The third one, they'd have a total of 1,000. Do you see what I'm saying?
Yes.
So, but you're basically, instead of in your store, if somebody gives you 3 deals in a month, you're going to pay them 300 punk ass dollars. Are you kidding me? Yeah. You know what I mean? Like that's the point. But a lot of dealers don't think of shit like this. Mm-hmm. And here's what I'm going to tell you, my brother. This is what you do. So you go to the dealer. I'm going to make you a lot of money. Okay. You turn around and say, look, I am so serious about this shit that if you put in an extra, $150, I'm going to put in a minute. What's your minis there at the dealership? If you even have one
on new 125.
Okay, good. Here's what I would say. So at the end of the day, I would say I'm going to put in a minimum, even if it's a mini, $75. Okay. So if the dealerships, think about this, because if it's a referral, you would have never had that deal beforehand. So whatever amount of the money the dealership gives you, put more money out of your own fucking pocket. Bro, why not?
After these messages, we'll be right back. February, the month of commitment. It's over. Bradley On Demand has gone March mad. Dealers and managers, are you tired of long-term commitments and contracts? Well, this month, for the first time in the history of professional automotive sales, you can get access to the best training, tracking, testing, and certification platform with no commitment.
We've never done this before.
Not sure if we ever will again. So if you want to jump on and jump off Bradley On Demand at will, then text the 2 words no commitment to 267-551-6279 or email Tiana at dealersynergy.com with the words no commitment in the subject line. Do it now and you'll be able to one day sing this song. I'm the Millionaire Car Salesman. I'm a millionaire. Which happens to be the name of this podcast.
Yeah. Well, so here's what I've been doing on a personal basis. I talk to my customers, talk to my friends, whatever, at the right time and say, hey, I pay for referrals. And I word it to where it's not, hey, send me people. But I pay for referrals. And here's what I tell them. If somebody comes and talks to me or somebody comes and visits me, you give them my phone number, whatever the case is, I'm going to send you, $25 Chili's card or something like that, right? If that person turns around and buys from me, I'm going to send you $100 whatever card. I do that personally, and I don't even use the bird dog system at my dealership. I just do it personally because I write a thank you note. I tell them, thank you for sending them.
You're missing the point. Listen to me. The things that you never turn down in life, there's a couple. I have my own personal rules, but one of them is money. Don't turn down free money. What is your problem, bro? Because think about this. If you're getting somebody happy in Texas over a freaking $25 Chili's card and $100 whatever card, how much happier are they going to be with an extra $100 from the dealership?
Yeah.
That's my point. What you want to do is, brother, think about this. Think about the FBI, think about the police, think about the CIA. They all work off of informants. Do you understand what I'm saying? When they're going to infiltrate the Sinaloa cartel, they don't just have an open invitation. Ding dong. Yeah, can I see the boss over here? No, they've got informants that infiltrate them. What you want to do is, I'm telling you, this is going to make you a ton of money. You want to start to create a network of referral agents out there. What you want to do is figure out somebody that has access to a lot of people, bartenders, waiters, waitresses, club promoters, people at La Quinta that check in. Like the desk people there's people all the time. You know what I mean? Uber drivers, okay? Taxi cab drivers, people at casinos, anybody, people that work at gyms. Here's one: real estate agents, mortgage brokers, mechanics, people at pet shop, etc. Anybody that has that. And what you want to do is you want to enlist them and recruit them like an informant. Here's the role play. Here's what we're trying. Let's just pretend that it was $200, right? Was the first one, because that could be right now. You could do it. You could give them $100 out of your pocket, which you said you already do, and 100 from the dealership. So 200 is minimum. So now watch this. 3 is going to be what? Is $600 a month.
Right.
So watch this. 600 times 12 is 7,200, right? So watch how I lay on my pink game. You ready?
Yep.
Hey, Kelly, question for you. How would you like to make another $7,000 to $12,000 a year for practically doing nothing? I'm dead serious.
Would love it.
Okay, so let me explain to you. I'm one of the senior sales consultants at ABC Motors. And we have a referral program, which means that if someone refers to me, somebody that's in the market to purchase a vehicle, and I sell them a vehicle, I will be able to pay you a minimum of $200 to $300. Now, if you are successful in this, our average referral agent generates us about 3 deals a month. So that's $600 cash, okay, times 12 months. is $7,200. That's the low end. Now, this could be as lucrative as you want to be, because I'm gonna tell you right now, Kelly, I know people that sell Tupperware, they sell makeup, they sell vitamins, they have all these little side hustles. Here's an easy thing. All you got to do is kind of shepherd people to me. So if you're in conversation, any of your friends, your family, your coworkers, your frenemies, your clients, anybody says that they want to buy a car, sell a car, they got car problems or anything automotive related, just text me or shoot me an email with their information on it. I'll reach out to them. And if I wind up selling them a car, I will pay you X amount of dollars. How does that sound?
Yeah, sounds great.
So now I've got an informant at the gas station. I got an informant at the school. I got an informant at the police department, ironically speaking, but I do, right? I've got an informant that's at the restaurant. I got an informant at the bar. I got an informant at the club. And now I've got agents, because here's the thing. Why is your owner a multi-millionaire? Because he's got a whole freaking sales staff of people. Whether he sells a car or not, doesn't matter, because everybody else sells a car. And he gets paid a little taste of that. Okay, well, where's your sales team? You don't have one. So you made $275,000 by yourself, brother. You're not the average bear. That's why I'm telling you this idea. You know how many times I told people this shit? Half people don't listen to me. They're like, yeah, that's great. That's brilliant. And they don't do shit. You are not the average person. I implore you. I use a college word right there. I beseech you. There's another one, right? I want you to try this. I want you to develop a network of agents. I mean, how? What you got to think about is whale accounts. My wife calls the power move. You got to think, okay, who can I get that would send me a referral every day? Now, let me ask you a question, point blank. Have you ever sat down in 8 hours in the last 2.5 years you worked there and thought, who can give me a referral every single day? Honestly, have you thought about that?
Not in those terms.
Guess what? That's why that shit ain't happening, because you're not even thinking about it.
Yeah.
Now I just turn your mind out, because now you're going to think, man, I could do these onesies or twosies, but shit, what if I find somebody? Now, question for you. I know I have a little potty mouth, but believe it or not, I have faith. I believe in God. I belong to FSC Church. Do you belong to a church by any chance?
We haven't found one yet to actually belong to, but normally, yes, we would.
Okay, good. If you don't mind me asking, what denomination, what faith?
Methodist.
Okay, perfect. So I don't know a lot about the Methodist faith, so I'm going to go through the just plain old Christianity, right? Like Christian church. So I belong to FAC. Here's what I would do. I would step to my pastor and I would say something like this. His name's Pastor Marty. So I'd be like, Pastor Marty, I'd like to set up an appointment to come and visit with you. I've been at this church for about 13 years. And I just want to let you know that I'm actually one of the senior sales consultants at ABC Motors. And I was shocked to find out that they didn't have a program for churches, because the manufacturers, I work for Ford and Chevy, and the manufacturers have programs for first responders, military, law enforcement, that there's special privileges and certain benefits. I mean, there's even stuff for college grads, for, owner retention, for conquesting, but there wasn't anything for the church. So I went to our owner and I said, listen, I've been going to FAC for about, almost 13 years. Would it be okay if I extended this military first responders program to the church? And he said, yes. So Pastor Marty, here's what it is. First and foremost, if there's anybody in our church, anybody at all, that has any questions about automotive, about financing, about leasing, about purchasing, about trading their vehicle or selling their vehicle for free, I would love to be able to be a free resource. Now, I don't know about your church, but my church, they got workshops for, like, not counseling. They have marriage workshops. They've got, financial workshops. They got all these little education things for our members, but I don't see anything about car people ever. And a car purchase is really important. So that's the first things I want to be top of mind. So now the church could promote me, in their newsletter, on their website, in their little pamphlets, word of mouth, etc. Now, here's the best part, though. Because I am the senior sales consultant, I have, power and ability to help, our members. If anybody is in the market to purchase their vehicle, I have a special program that's not open to the public. It could be modified pricing or perceived modified pricing. It could be a package. It could be this, it could be that. We could help you customize all that. It's not a big deal, right? Now, here's the best part for you, Pastor Marty, is that if anybody purchases from us that's a member of this church, we're going to donate $200 to the church. Let me do the math for you, Pastor Marty. If 10 people in a month purchase a vehicle, that's $2,000 I'm sending the church. So again, that's the win-win-win. I just freaking formed Voltron with the church. Okay, for old heads, you know what Voltron is, right? The Lions. Yeah, because think about this. I want to help the members be protected, not get cracked like a baby seal from some heathen car dealers, right? From car people, not automotive professionals. That's the first thing, is I'm helping them with the righteous information and helping protect them. Second is I'm giving them a special package that's not just verbal. There's going to be some tangible, real things that are in there, just like S-Plan, X-Plan, etc., that you might have. You know what I mean? We're going to have something similar, but for the church. And then the bird dog. Now it's not just beneficial to the members, it's beneficial to the church. Why? The church makes all their money from tithing. And here, so if I'm Pastor Marty, let me reverse role play. So Kelly, you're telling me that you're going to actually help educate and help our members for free, whether they buy or not? Absolutely. You're going to answer all their questions, as many as they might be? Absolutely. And if somebody is in the market, you're going to give them special treatment, special pricing, and a bunch of free shit. He's not going to say shit. I am, right? Yes. And then on top of all that, you're going to donate money to the church. Why would the pastor not do that?
Right.
Like, you know what I mean? If I don't have a potty mouth, you know what I mean? I'm excited right now on this podcast, but you know what I mean? Like if I'm just being sincere and there's no strings attached, here's why. Because this is called macro selling versus micro selling. You sell, there's a microeconomics. Most people don't even know they're doing micro business every day. They have onesies, twosies if they're lucky. I'm talking about macro strategy. I'm trying to sell to military, law enforcement, police departments, first responders, fire departments. You know, I'm trying to sell to teachers. My gosh, you are in the education industry. Your wife is still an educator. You could go to the teachers union in whatever county and say, hey, folks, I have a special program that's for educators because I had almost 30 years dedicated to my life to education. My wife still is an educator right now. So I'm sure that your wife could help you with all your contacts. If you don't have them, fucking figure it out, bro. Figure it the fudge out. That's a Christian version of that, right? Figure it out and then say, hey, look, here's a package for teachers. And you could do a commercial. I was a teacher for 28 years, you know, math and, you know, football. My wife is an educator. We are you. We're now on this side of the fence. We want to help you. We know that there's, you know, income challenges or income caps. So again, buying a car is super expensive. I want to help all the teachers out there. Okay. So you don't make the stupid ass mistakes I did, like refinancing for 74 months or whatever it is. Use those examples. So now you've got, I gave you the church, I gave you the teachers thing. And then the third one is football. Are you kidding me? Yeah. You need to turn around and talk to the athletic director and give him the same pitch. Look, I want to sponsor it because my kid is on the tackle team. He's 9 years old. So he was on the 105 and then he was on the 90-pound team before. And this is going to be his third year. And we drop like a G and we get like one of the banners right on the field. You want to get the dealership to sponsor that. But bro, even if the dealership ain't doing that shit, you just made almost $300K. Step up and get the goddamn banner up there and let's go. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, but that's what you want to do. You want to be in your area. You're authentically a football guy, you know, with the school system. So you want to have conversations. You want to turn around and hell, maybe even create. I'll give you an example. This is cool. It's not super expensive to book one of these athletes. What state are you in?
Texas.
You're in Texas. Okay. So I'm assuming the Cowboys is like what's the best team over there for you guys?
Well, Cowboys recently, Texans. But Cowboys, yeah.
We'll talk about the Texans. They didn't do too well last year, but that might be great though because they're going to be cheap as hell. I mean, because they're not making money playing football. I'm sorry, guys. Texans don't hate on me, bro. It's too easy. My Eagles lost the Super Bowl, so I got no place to go. So follow me on this. Can you imagine? Do you even know what it costs to get maybe to book one of these football players to go do a meet and greet with this high school? Do you even know how much that costs?
No, but it's not that expensive. I mean, it's
not that expensive at all, especially, no, I'm not throwing shots, especially for the Texans, it'll be way cheaper than the Cowboys. Right. You know what I mean? Or if you get an alumni, somebody that's a former player might be cheaper. So here's the thing is think about this. This is something that the dealership go through. Can you imagine with your connections that you could have maybe one of these former or current pro athletes go and spend a day sponsored by you and ABC Motors, the meet and greets. It could be all, you could have pictures printed up with the dealership's logo, your logo on them. You follow me? Now the kids are like, oh my God, I can't believe this. That you want to leverage what your expertise is, man, education and this football stuff. You like this?
Yes, 100%. I'm on a couple of different coaches Facebook pages.
Yeah.
Post on there all the time. Tell them in so many words, not as eloquently as you, but I talk about, I'm here to take care of you. I've been where you are. I know what you're bringing home a month. Let me help you. I've done
CTA, but you have to have a better call to action. You know what I mean? You have an actual program with deliverables and information. So after this podcast, I'll have Tiana reach out to you and we could set up a separate, phone call on this and I could give you some stuff, but I wanted to give our audience stuff because, man, I'm super proud of what you're doing. You are an inspiration because most people don't have the success as fast as you did. And most people don't have your realistic expectation, of what the future is about to be. So if you want to not have a dip in your lifestyle and your income, then you need to turn around and figure out alternate ways of generating opportunities. Would you agree?
Absolutely. Because it's coming. It's not going to be like last year, but that doesn't mean that the market's not going to be that way. That doesn't mean I can't make it that way for me, though.
100%. And I don't know. Are you on Bradley Demand yet?
No.
I should have started with that. That's what you need to do. But anyway, because in Bradley Demand and with whether it's Bradley Demand is our online university. I have everything I just said to you right here is in Bradley Demand. We have full-blown, programs to teach salespeople and dealerships how to leverage the community, how to leverage, prospects and referral generation on the macro level. All of this is part of our Dealer Synergy curriculum and our Bradley Demand curriculum. If there's anybody that's listening to this podcast or on the Facebook group and would like some advice on how to do this for themselves, for limited time only, for free, reach out to us. You could turn around and in the live stream in the Facebook group, write in the comments, just say, hey, I'm interested in setting up a free strategy session, or you could DM me, or you could call 856-546-2440 and ask for a free strategy session. So again, I'm just trying to help everybody out there. This is not quantum physics. This is not top secret stuff, but like anything, information without application is just information, but information with application equals transformation, right? Yes. So I got a couple more questions for you, Kelly. You got a couple more minutes?
Absolutely.
All right. So talk to us. Okay. So you are basically living off of ups. That's the majority of your sales is ups, right?
Pretty much.
Okay. So what I would say is this: I don't think that you're properly leveraging your connections, especially with your wife still in education. I think that I could help you really leverage the education angle, especially with your wife still in it. I think I could also help you with the football side of things, because I have a lot of people that are in professional sports and things like that. I have some ideas as I just share with you. And then that church idea is pretty damn solid. You know what I mean? But it's similar like that. All right. Now, besides that, can you just tell us, why do you feel you're so successful? Because you obviously have other salespeople, and I'm not throwing shots at anybody else in your dealership, but I'm almost positive not everybody's at the level that you have. And there's people that sell cars a lot longer than you that have never achieved what you have. So why do you think you are so successful and you make so much more money compared to other people in your dealership around the country?
I think there's a realness to when I sit down with a person. I feel like they don't talk to me, or they don't feel like they're talking to a sales guy. In fact, I joke about it and say that I'm not a car salesman. I'm a retired coach that helps people buy the vehicle they want. And I use a lot of self-deprecating humor. I break down that wall, make fun of myself and all those things. And I just,
How so? Like, what do you say?
Oh man, just simple things like, if it's in the morning, I'll sit a customer down and I'll do something simple like, good afternoon, man, I'm so glad you're here. And they look at me like, afternoon, what the all of a sudden you just see their face change to, this guy's making fun. He doesn't even know when it is, what time of day it is, or vice versa. It's afternoon. Hey, good morning, man. I'm glad you guys came in. Good morning. What? Oh man, time got away from me. So busy today, or just, thing about selling Chevy and Ford, man. That's a great thing. But there's a lot of dang information on both F-150s and 1500s. And so if I get the guy that's, what's the tow capacity of this? What's the axle ratio of this? What's this? I'll tell him, guy, look, man, you probably know more about that than I do. I live in the world. I sell these things, but let's go back to my desk and let's figure it out together, because I'm not going to pretend like I know the difference between 3.3 and 3.31 and 3, whatever the case is, right? So I don't come across as knowing everything. I don't mean this negatively, but be on their level, when it comes to.
I understand what you mean.
Yeah. I've got I tell you, one of the best conversation starters. I've got a digital frame that sits behind me. Okay. It's about a 8-inch frame or whatever. And it's one of those.
You have it right there? Can I see it? Can you put it in the camera?
No, I'm actually, I came home.
Oh yeah, that's right.
Yeah. So, anyway, so it's one of those ones where you just email a picture and it starts to show up on the frame.
Mm-hmm.
So I do two things. I have pictures of my family rotating up there when they were little kids, of my wife, of me coaching, of former players, of customers, you name it. And it's playing right back here behind me, just rotating through. So, I get the customer that's looking me dead in the eye, and then I see their glance go off, and come back to me, and then they, so I use that as I'm a real guy just like you. You work construction, I sell cars, but I'm still a dude just like you that needs to get into a truck. I still got a family to feed. I still got colleges to pay for, and things like that. So I try not to take myself too seriously and break down. I think I break down the wall pretty quickly when somebody comes and sits down with me, which allows the rest of the conversation to flow pretty freely. And I think people trust me. I think that they believe in my transparency. And I feed off of those things. So like I said, I haven't been in the business. There's guys in our showroom that are 32, 33 years old. They've been doing it 10, 12 years. Right. Mm-hmm. But I listen to them talk, and they can't have this conversation you and I are having. They don't want to check their ego. That's the thing. They don't want to check their ego at the door when they come in. And
it's funny. Let me just touch on that. That's really a valid statement. A lot of times what people don't realize is that this is truly a relationship sale. People are buying you. You got to get the prospect, in my opinion, to like you, trust you, and believe you. And there are only two ways that you can do that right from the beginning is humanize yourself. You've got to humanize yourself and try to establish common ground. So basically, diffusing somebody from you being, because you're not 18 years old. Apparently, I could see you. You know what I mean? You got some age on you. Not old, but you're not like a teenager. Sure. So when I sit down, I'm thinking, okay, I got a seasoned killer here that's going to take all my money. And so you're like, no, man, I just got here. I'm not really a car person. I'm retired. Okay, retired. Yeah, I spent 28 years as a math teacher and as a football coach. Oh, wow, boom. So again, that humanizes you. That basically makes you a non-threat. Because they don't think that you're a killer salesperson that's going to, extract their money from their pockets. Mm-hmm. I like that. You're using, whether it's self-deprecating or just conventional humor, you're doing that to make them like you, feel at ease. Again, these are good tactics. I love that you shared that. Okay, so what else besides your communication skills and making people feel comfortable and establishing rapport and a common ground? Why else do you think you're successful opposed to other people? Specifically, again, you don't have to list anybody, but there's stupid behaviors that people have at the dealership. Like you said, they have an ego. They don't check their ego at the door. What other things you either do or things that you don't do while you're successful? Keep going.
Checking that ego. I mean, if you don't, then no slaps you in the face. Right. If you carry that ego to that phone call, that text, or that email, and you hit on this earlier, following up, a no slaps you in the face. Right. And unfortunately, there's a lot of people who that slap is all it takes to move on to something else. And one of the best compliments one of my managers gave me was, man, once you get a hold of a customer, you get your hooks in them, you don't let them go. I mean, I'm following up. You got to be able to deal with adversity, man. Life is adversity. A no on the first phone call, that's adversity. What are you going to do? Just move on and forget that person or that customer? Or are you going to call them back? Hey, look, last month we talked about it and you weren't ready and you told me no. I'm just checking in to see if things have changed. Maybe you got a raise. Maybe, whatever the case is, maybe you're ready to buy now. So I think dealing with adversity and being able to take, no is just another opportunity or next opportunity. We used to say that when I was coaching. It's just the next opportunity to do something else. So I don't want to say cliche. I don't take no for an answer, but I don't let no be the end of my conversation necessarily with that customer. So hang in there, keep following up.
Let me put you on the spot then. Let me put you on the spot. Okay, so go through this. So let's go through the basics. Okay, let's say you up somebody, you up me, and I'm like, I'm just looking. How do you handle that?
Well, again, so the first thing I'm going to do is walk up to him and say, hey, am I too early or am I too late? Did I walk up on you too early or did I walk up on you too late? Because it's either one or the other. We all know that. And right there, they're smiling and they're being calm with me. Oh, no, you're fine. You're fine. No, well, so you said you're just looking. Okay. I'll tell you what, I've got to go over here to take a couple pictures of a truck for another customer. I'll come back and check in with you, see if you find anything you like.
You know what though? But wait a minute. Okay. You were the first person in years that came up with something different. I like that. Okay. So I've heard that, but it's been many years since I heard that too early, too late. But you just brought back an oldie but goodie for me. I like that because again, that is going to minimize I'm just looking because of the humor aspect of things. So if you just said, hi, I'm Sean, how can I help you? Or something like that. I'm just looking, because I'm just looking is usually a pushback, like just automatic, an auto defense, I would say, right. But you're diffusing. I would say that you're diffusing I'm just looking when you use something as strategic as, hey, did I catch you too early or too late? Now, right. Question for you. I'm curious. I think I have the answer in my head, but I want to ask you, do you get a lot of I'm just lookings or no?
Out at our store, not really. Not really.
I would say no either. That's what if you came up to me and you said, did I catch you too early, too late? I'm just looking. That doesn't really fit. I think that by using that word track that you just gave our audience, that might be a cool strategy to try to do something different and see at your dealership if that minimizes I'm just looking, because I like that. Okay. Brownie point number one. Now, let's just say you do get I'm just looking. I'm just looking. How do you respond to that?
Well, again, a lot of times I'll say, okay, I'm going to give you a few minutes to look. I'm going to come over here. I got something else to do. I'll go over and I may even pretend like I'm taking pictures of another truck, whatever, but I'm stepping away from them. Then I'll ease back in. When I notice they've landed on a vehicle, ease back in, not again, running up there with my hand out and all that kind of stuff. And just ask them, okay, I know you're just looking, but did something specific bring you to our lot? Did you see something on our website? Did you, catch something on a commercial? I also noticed you're looking at this particular, 2017 Camry you have it on our used lot. So are you looking for a Camry? Are you looking for a 4-door sedan? Talk to me about that. And just open the door for a little communication. If they're still, nope, I'm just looking. In my head, I'm moving on. I'm going back and making phone calls, and I'm letting them just look. If somebody else can break down the wall and go sell them a car, then, it is what it is. But I'm not going to go out and just hound them with, well, let me show you this. Let me show you that.
Right.
It's just not me. And I'm not going to do something that's not me. If it costs me a sale, it costs me a sale.
Okay, so let's go through. I'm trying to get our audience to hear what your overall process is. Okay, great. So whether I'm let's say I'm in the actual dealership, you up me at the dealership. So let's go through everything from your greeting. How do you greet me?
Hey, Sean.
Nope, you don't know me.
I don't know you. Okay. Walk by. How you doing, sir? How you doing? Have you been helped yet? Has anybody talked to you yet?
No, not yet.
Okay. Are you here to see somebody in particular?
No, I'm interested in possibly buying a new car.
Okay. All right. My name is Kelly. My name is Kelly Mercer. I'm one of the senior sales associate here at Covert Auto. What's your name?
Sean Bradley.
Yeah. So you walked into our store, Sean. You look for something specific, car, truck. What are you looking for?
It's actually interesting. I'm looking at either an F-150 or a Chevy Silverado.
Sean, come over here to my desk for a second. I want to show you something really cool. Oh, by the way, need some water, got some coffee back here. Got a vending machine if you need some, something like that. But come over here to my desk. We can stand here all day, but let's come sit down for a little bit. Let me show you something, Sean. You're in the Chevy building right now. My desk happens to be in this Chevy building. Okay. I can sell you any new Chevy that's out there. Look at my window over there, though. You see that Ford building? I'm a certified Ford salesperson as well. I'm the only lot in the state of Texas that I can put a 1500 and a 150 right beside each other.
That's crazy. That's crazy. That's awesome. All right.
I think there's like 6 in the nation. I don't have data on that. It's just kind of what I've heard. But I could put a 1500 and a 150 next nose to nose with each other. What features are you looking for? Oh, I got to have leather. All right, let's go find you an LTZ. Let's go find you a Lariat. Let's put them right next to each other. What color you want? Silver? Great. I go get a silver. Go get a silver. Let's put them right next to each other. Stay right here. I'm going to go set this up right outside my window. And then when I'm ready, I'll come get you and we'll go look at the trucks.
Okay. Next question is, do you have a specific set of qualifying questions? So let's say you sit me down. Let's say go through the, you say, what brought you here? Like, I'm looking for a vehicle. What kind? I'm not really sure. I just need a new vehicle. So how would you qualify me? Do you have a customer worksheet at your dealership?
We do. I don't use it.
Okay. So tell me what your process is. How do you qualify me?
All right, Sean. Again, thank you for coming in. Have a seat right here. This is my desk. So what brings you in today? You said, I don't know. All right. Well, Sean, is this vehicle going to be just for you? Or is it going to be for you and your wife? You have kids?
It's good. I'm going to be the primary driver, but I have a wife and I have 4 kids, but 2 of my girls are adults and they're out of the house. So I've got a 15-year-old. He just turned 15. Sorry. I have a 15-year-old son and I have a 9-year-old son.
Okay. So would you have your entire family in this vehicle, or are you really just kind of toting around the 4 of you?
It would probably just be the 4 of us. Sometimes my kids, do come over, but again, they have their own cars and things like that. I'm not looking to make a buying decision based on my grown adult girls, but I appreciate you asking.
Sure. Well, I have family too, and one of mine's off at college, and my wife doesn't need a third row vehicle anymore. We had one only because we had to separate our 2 when they were fighting. But you need a third row vehicle? You think?
I haven't had a third row vehicle in a while. I've had them before, but the kids are old enough. I don't necessarily need one, but I'm not opposed to it.
Okay. So I'm thinking you may want to be in an SUV, unless there's going to be some times where you're going to be hauling some stuff around in a truck.
No, I definitely I don't want a truck. I know offense. I just, that's the only cliche with Texas. You know what I mean? Like I live in Austin too, but pickup truck or a hound dog.
Right. So would you say an SUV would suit your needs that you need?
I think so. I just think, I don't know if they're too expensive though. I mean, the prices are crazy nowadays, but yeah, in a perfect world, I like an SUV and I like to be 6 foot tall, but I'm only 5'5". So hopefully you could help me out with the truck.
Well, you came to the right place. I'm here to help you with that. I can't help you with the other part of being vertically challenged, but I can absolutely help you. I can absolutely help you find a vehicle to help your needs. Here's a couple things. If we want to go to a third row vehicle, Sean, I got a Chevy Traverse that's great if we need to get but you're talking about not necessarily needing that, so we could go to an Equinox or a Blazer. But then again, right over here on my Ford side, I've got an Explorer that's a third row vehicle, or we could go Edge or Escape if it's just going to be the 4 of you.
So Escape is small. Is the Edge in the middle?
Yes.
I've heard of the Edges. I'm more interested in the Edge.
Okay. So on the Ford side, you'd have the Edge. Do you need leather? Do we need cooled seats?
No, you know what? Need and want are totally 2 different things. Yes, I need navigation. I need Apple CarPlay. Those are needs.
Okay.
I would want heated seats, air conditioning seats, a sunroof. Those are wants. But again, if it's too expensive, I absolutely don't need them.
Right. But if you do want those things, you understand, maybe we can find some of those that make sense to you and make it make sense to you financially as well.
If it's cost effective, I would love to have those things.
Okay. So I've got 5 Edges over here that they're going to fit those needs for you already. I'm thinking of them. What's your favorite color?
Orange.
Ooh, orange might be a little tough in this market right now, but if orange is what you want, I'll put an order in for you right now.
Stop for a minute, brother. I'm gonna tell you right now. I've been doing this a long time. The way that you're freestyling like this, okay? Because we didn't rehearse it. This is the first time I've ever talked to you in my life. Right. The way that you're handling that whole vertically challenged fucking thing was brilliant, hilarious. Because if a prospect brings that up, that is the open door for you to walk through and say some shit like you did. Yeah. That's having a personality. audience, people listen to this shit on the podcast or what have you, you can't hire that. It's hard to even train that having a personality. So that's, I would tell you, probably one of the reasons why you're so successful is because you're a real person, you're genuine, you're funny as hell, you've got good timing, and you are conversationalist. And again, I get it. If you're a coach and you got to talk to people, you're a teacher, you got to instruct people, you're used to being in a position of authority. Okay. You're used to being in a position of authority. You're used to educating people. And that's what you're doing as a salesperson to be there. You're giving people and educating, options. You're helping them as a consultant know the features and benefits, and you're leading them to the destination. So I could see why you're so talented. And I got to tell you right now, we have a hard stop, but my gosh, this was a great podcast. Thank you so much for taking the time. I hope you got some value out of it for yourself.
100%, man. Being able to, that's a lot of pressure when you said you want to role play, man. I've heard you say that on podcasts before, and I'm like, oh man, I don't know if I can do that, but that's good stuff, man. It's fun. It's good.
Absolutely. So again, it's so funny. My assistant just went like this. I've got a hard stop right now. But again, brother, I wish you profound success.
Thank you.
And continued success. And like I said, I'll have Tiana reach out to you because I think that we can help you, with these lead generation, these referral generation things, because these are things that are not for the public. I mean, like for the masses. Yeah. I say it all the time, but most people don't ever execute because it's too far conceptually over them when they're still trying to block and tackle. You know what I mean?
Oh yeah.
What you've done is incredible. If you start to add a little bit more strategy, a little more sophistication in your strategy, I think you're going to be able to not only keep the lifestyle and the growth that you are currently accustomed to, but you're going to be able to increase and hopefully get to the Cody Carters and the Chrissy Burton levels of the game.
Yeah, for sure. I appreciate anything you can do moving forward. I have enjoyed my days off. Let me tell you this before I know we got to go, but I've enjoyed my days off are usually Tuesdays because I never had days off when I was coaching. But now I want to be able to do some things on my days off, these extra things you're talking about, because I know that's going to need to be there for this coming year.
Well, listen, I love it. I look forward to sharing your success, Kelly. Take care.
Thank you.
So there you have it, the Millionaire Car Salesman Podcast. This podcast comes to you every week from the city of brotherly love, Philadelphia, Pennsylvania. If you have a question about the show or would like the chance to become a guest, feel free to contact us directly at 856-546-2440 or email us at millionairecarsalesman@gmail.com. This program is a presentation of Synergy Records, produced by Tiana Mick and L.A. Williams. Production and engineering by L.A. Williams. The Millionaire Car Salesman Podcast is hosted every week by L.A. Williams and the Millionaire Car Salesman himself, Sean V. Bradley. The Millionaire Car Salesman Podcast can be found everywhere, so please don't forget to review, subscribe to, and share the show. Thanks for listening to the Millionaire Car Salesman Podcast, and remember, where I'm from, money provides options. If you enjoyed this podcast, then make sure to give it a thumbs up, subscribe, and leave us a review. Let some other folks know about it. Oh, and don't forget to join the Millionaire Car Salesman group on Facebook. We'll see you there.